Hi, Joe Cerrone.
Al Rosen.
Welcome to our weekly meeting for CAD 116 Basic AutoCAD, September 10th. Today we're going to introduce Module 2, which links to Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 of our textbook. Chapter 3 goes into Introduction to Drawing and Editing. Basically, we'll be looking at basic draw commands like line, and then basic edit commands, erase, undo, redo. And then in the fourth chapter, we'll look at more draw commands like circle, arc, ellipse, polyline, polygon, etc. We have a number of assignments that are linked to the module. We'll start to go through and work with Cartesian coordinate input. So this number 1, if we click on it, takes you to the assignment. And the assignment is basically how to create this number 1 using absolute and relative polar coordinate input. And so each of these coordinates are typed in, and then you'll get a line from point 1 to point 2 to point 3. So you have a construction that looks similar to this. Okay, another one of the assignments is to do either a mechanical or an architectural. And Al, are we giving them the either or in this module?
Yes, right. And then we have 2 others are bonuses after that. That's on the bottom. This is Mod 2, Lab 2, and Module 2, Lab 3. Those are bonus ones.
Okay, so this number 1 is required.
Yep.
And then this one here, they either do this one or they do the other one, right?
That is correct.
And here's the other one. It's a little small, but it's readable. So either the mechanical or the architectural. And then let's see what this is. And this is extra credit bonus.
That's correct.
Right?
Yeah, we have 2 extra credits.
Okay.
Like that one.
And then this last link is?
That is a
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
Right. And there's a different one in here that we're going to look at today.
Right.
There's a video lecture, how to do the exercises. And so if you click on this link. Module 2. Hi, Joe Cerrone. Today we're going to cover drawing and editing. And if we look at it,
Step by step, inch by inch type routine.
Sure thing. So this goes through the entire module. This is a good video. It actually goes through the entire chapter as well and links to it.
Right.
So that's one component.
And then we have individual ones.
Here's our chapter 4 video lecture.
They're about for backbeat. And then the left one after that. That's the number 1 video right above it. And here's that one.
Right. So the videos are all linked in the main splash page here for you. So for this video conference for today, for our Zoom meeting, I'm in the wrong section somehow here, Al.
Yep.
I think it's because I switched browsers.
It happens. We're human.
Yep.
We took the wind-up key out of the back of us today, so.
Yeah, and then of course it's starting to crash on me. Go back to the right one. Got a couple more students that have been added into the class list. So as we're continuing this recording, I think I'm in the right spot now. Yes, I am. Module 2, if you go click on content, I'm going to view this as a student. And then we were just going through our main splash page. Module 2 ties into chapter 3 and 4. Here's the first assignment right here, this number 1. And then you're to choose either the mechanical drawing or the architectural drawing. And then there's video lectures on how to do each one of those. That's the module 2. If we go to the content section and we take a look at module 2, we have our general design assignment. That's the number 1, and then either the mechanical or the architectural assignment. Here's the lab for the architectural.
The video is right below it.
There's the video. Architectural applications for module.
And also, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, there's AutoCAD that you can type in or link into, a link over here also. In a moment, we'll show you where it links. Or if you want to, you can type it in either way you want to do it. That gives us everything there. If you go down to Joe's, just a little bit more. There's fundamentals that automatically links into our page. There it is. And there's module 2.
Right. Before the D2L came out, we didn't really have a good course management software. And so we created our own web server. And it actually worked quite well, but it was a lot of work to maintain it. But that's where all of our curriculum grew out of. So getting back to our module 2. I'm going to have to pause this, Al. I've got so resuming module 2 has the general design, which is the number 1, and then you have to choose either mechanical design or architectural design. Here's our architectural design. There's video, there's title block. You'll need a chair for this conference room, so you can download and insert the chair as well. And then you can choose this mechanical exercise. That's lab 1. There's the video on how to do that. And then there's 2 additional mechanicals if you like to do bonus work. PowerPoint maps to the textbook. If we download that,
It also has the number 1 drawing it at the same time.
so the learning objectives in this chapter are basically working with utilities like starting a new drawing, saving files, closing files, working with multiple documents, working with units and templates.
And when Joe said open with drawings or templates, that's what we want to give you with title blocks. We have one specified in our area, mod 2 to use.
Right, so when you open up a template file, they have a DWT extension on them and they don't name the file. And so when you are finished with the drawing and you're ready to exit or you go to save, it'll prompt you for a drawing name with the DWG. The default is drawing1.dwg, but for our purposes, we'll be naming those with our initials and then the lab number. So for example, lab number 2A, I would put JC-lab 2A or AR lab 2A. You can set up automatic saves and backups. It's not a bad idea.
The only reason why we do that is we have beautiful electronics and electrical things going into the house. Unfortunately, sometimes power goes out, which it never does. But if it certainly does, back it up So you're all set, especially if you've done finished 25, 35 minutes. You don't want to add another 25, 35 minutes on your drawing time.
Most definitely. And as you do set those backups, take note as to where the backup file path is.
And normally, sorry about that, Joe. Normally, Joe and I explained to you, and we can show you in a while once we have AutoCAD up, of that we set up a drawing file folder, so you would know that that would be set up for all your drawings. If you have them in there, and so when you go in the real world, you might have 3, 4, 5, 10 different folders underneath this one for different parts of different areas of a drawing. So it's easy for you to search by and send these drawings out to different areas of the company.
Right. And as we work with these different files and drawings, you know, basic drawings, okay, basic drawing modes, model space versus paper space. And so as we look at how we'll create these drawings, if we go and we take a look at these, when we download the title block, that is what's called paper space. And that's for putting things like the name on the paper. And then when we get down to model space, that's this tab right here, that's sort of an infinite drawing board. And so if we were to go and draw a line, we could draw a line right here. And as we tracked it out, you can see that 7 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet. We can make this 15 feet, 1.5 apostrophe. And then if we want to go and track down this way, we could say 5 feet. So the difference between model space and paper space is that in model space, you have an infinite drawing board.
And remember, paper space is only a certain size. So it might be 8.5 by 11, 11 by 8.5, depending on what it is. The other one's 11 by 17 or 17 by 11, depends on which way you're looking at, your landscape or portrait. So there's no way you're going to get 17 feet in there. That's why we use model space to do all the work, and paper space should be able to show our work at a certain scale.
Right, you want to think of it as a picture frame. So when we get into these drawings of this floor plan, we're talking about a B-size piece of paper or a 17-inch wide by 11-inch tall. And so that's your picture frame. And then we adjust the scale in these viewports so that they fit. And that's sort of how CAD works so well, because it's a vector-based program which you can scale your measurements on.
Okay. Sorry about that, Joe.
No problem. Drawing units. When we work with these different drawings, we're going to have decimal units or we're going to have architectural units. The architectural drawings will be architecture. They work in feet and inches. The mechanical drawings will be decimal. They'll be set for imperial. Limits is kind of an older command. We don't need to get too wrapped up in it for this exercise. And then Al has graciously set up these drawing templates that you can download for the exercise assignments.
So
Chapter,
you want to go into and show it where it is now or later on?
I can show it to him now.
Okay.
So in D2L,
Content. And on the left-hand side, you'll see, it'll say all title blocks for CAD-116 if you left click onto it. And you can see the title blocks above it. There's a picture of each one. The one on the far right hand or far left-hand side, I should say, is a A size, which is 8.5 by 11, how it's set up. The next one is a regular B size paper, and the other one is architectural B size paper, which you can see down below. Joe is highlighting it over there. And some you will see PWG, which means you can move it, change the unit itself, or when it says PWT, it's a drawing template that automatically pops right up.
Right. So if you download this file right here, and then we open it, you're ready to go with the mechanical assignment. You can flip over to model space and begin drawing.
Now, as you draw one line, okay, or two lines or three lines, however you want to look at it, in the bottom left-hand corner, you will see X, Y, and Z patterns in there. I know Joe went over this last week. X is horizontal, X is vertical, Y is horizontal, and Z is a three-dimensional, 3D area. How it looks gives you isometric views and it's going to go along with it, correct?
That's right, Al. And if we go into the Z axis, we can just have some fun.
Right. And there is our drawing. And then we go and where's this 2D? And we pick up shade and there's a shaded. That's how fast you can make a cube, rectangle, part of a building, or your part is a three-dimensional. As you look at, instead of isometric on top there, you just turn it around, you see the object going around there. If you click on that, click on top, it looks like a basic top view, no difference. So in reality, you've done two-dimensional and a three-dimensional drawing in less than a couple seconds. When Joe was talking, I explained to you about model space and paper space. You back out a little bit so we can see what paper and model space is. I can't see it. Here it is. If you click on where it's V-size paper, now the big red area here, you see it darkened, that means it's on model space. So it's like a transparent or translucent area going through it. Now we want to see our drawing. So if Joe double clicks the wheel on the wheel itself, it zooms up, there we go, and that's our area. Now he is in model space right now. So if he clicks out of the area of model space, left clicks out there, or clicks on the outside edge, now it's paper. You can see the nice thin line to it. Now we want to see both of them. We can actually see both later on. You want to do it now, Joe, or do you want to go over that later on?
I think we're making a recording. I think if we go too far into it, it'll go too far on the recording.
Okay, so let's just leave it like that. So
Sounds good.
okay, thank you.
You can download the title blocks as demonstrated, and then those are some of the differences between paper space and model space. And then go through module or chapter 3 in PowerPoint. So just as a recap, you're to do the general design assignment, which is the number 1, and then you're to do either the architectural or the mechanical. There's videos for each one. And then in the quizzes and exams, there's a quiz for each of the modules. And so there's a quiz for test 2. And Al, maybe you can explain that again?
Certainly. Right now, if you go back up into where it says student, your name, please, Joe, real quick.
I am student right now.
Click out a student, please. Make sure you're in yourself. Okay. Now go to quiz and test exams, okay? Now, this is what we see in the section go along with it. So let's say we want to go and click on test 1. Okay. So test 1 comes up and we have it set up so we can do whatever questions we have on there. Now we have it up there, so go down a little further. It'll be 13 questions. Okay. You get 2 extra points, so it's 15 questions, 15 points for each quiz. So that's all set, ready to go, and we'll give you some information if you want to later on. We can answer some questions if you want to. Go up more to the top, please. And if you put down restrictions, please, click on restrictions. This will tell you when it starts, how it is, and that's what we do onto it. Now we have also assessments, please. And if you go down, okay, and highest number of temps, and I get 4 temps in there, so any 4 will work out just fine. The first one, you have 4 temps, so any place you want to do it. If you have some questions or you used up all 4 of them and you say, can I have another chance? Email us and we will ask you, come back and ask you which one you want us to delete, and we will clean that one out and you can try it again.
All right, so that's the basic rundown. CAD-116, second week of class, Zoom meeting number 2. Work on module 2, put the drawings in the assignments folder, and take the quiz. That takes care of today's Zoom meeting. Look forward to seeing you next week.
All done, Joe?